The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. We start in Ukraine tonight, where developments are changing seemingly by the minute. A nuclear plant caught fire today, sending anxiety levels around the world into overdrive. Remember, it's a nuclear plant. This happened after Russia troopers reported attacked from all sides. Some good news, nuclear officials have reported no changes in radiation levels so far. I was able to speak with one woman tonight from inside her New York City apartment. She is on pins and needles, nervous, scared, not sure what will happen next, constantly checking in on her family who are in the middle of a war zone.
It's not only my home country, my entire family is there. So it's very terrifying to, checking news every hour, seeing if they're still alive. So it's very terrible. I'm so drained for this few days, and I just cannot imagine how they're coping there.
Have you been able to communicate with them by phone or by internet or email?
By internet, I'm in touch. Thanks God, we still have that. So yes, I'm able to call them a few times a day.
And who's still there for you in your immediate family?
My mom, my niece, and her kids. Who's like she's my age, so she's like my sister, and her kids, like I consider them my kids too. So my brother.
Now you go there every year and spend about 2 months there a year. Did you ever foresee anything like this happening, Russia attacking your country?
Well, obviously, I never thought of this before, because we were raised as brothers with Russian people. My father was Russian. He, we spoke Russian in the family. My entire city speaks Russian. We never felt any oppression. There was no reason for this. But then once when I was in Ukraine, I remember that I just woke up and then Crimea wasn't ours anymore. So that was like very weird to understand, because we spent a lot of time there and it was just like happened over time. Russia just took tanks and just proclaimed Crimea Russian. And then same happened in Donbass. And I had friends there too who had to flee. And then now in the news, they claiming that, they defended Russian people. Well, we are a Russian people. We are Ukrainians. We have Russian family. We are together. There's no distinction. Mm-hmm. But those who attack us, they're not people. They're like Russians, but I cannot call them people. They cannot just call people so cold-bloodedly,
What is it like living so close to someone who's so unpredictable, like Vladimir Putin, who will snatch away a part of your country and then try to take your entire country? What is that like?
Well, we never felt any of that, like it can happen. It was just, the more years coming, we see that Putin deteriorating. When he first came, I think Russian people were for him, and I think we saw him as a decent leader. But I don't know if it's age, I don't know if he has mental illnesses, but he starts, choking their own people, for forbidding them to speak out. They just took power with no real election, and it's becoming apparent he just turned from president to dictator, and no one can stop him. That's terrifying that one person can dictate the entire world what to do, because you want it or not, US is dancing to his songs too, because we are afraid that he's gonna use the nukes and stuff.
Right. Everyone's very concerned about that and his mental stability at this point for the actions that he has taken. Now, when we talk about Ukrainians, they have been fighting back. We're talking about young people, old people. They're picking up arms, making Molotov cocktails, fighting back. Does that make you proud? Obviously, it's a tough time right now, but does that make you proud that the people in your country are fighting back?
Yeah. Not only that, but also seeing how everybody's united, that everybody helping each other. I see in my like Instagram that like people offering help for elderly people who doesn't have food, because everybody obviously have to stay inside their houses. Nobody can go to the stores. So there's brave people who delivering food to people who cannot get that food. There's people who, there's homeless people who collecting, beer bottles on the streets to make Molotov cocktails. There's like people who stop tanks with their like bodies. They're like, there's so much bravery of my people, and I am with them, and I am actually thinking sometimes that I should go there, but I like obviously understand that would be stupid, but it's just like I cannot bear this feeling that my mom is there and I cannot do anything.
What we have seen also is the international community come together to support Ukraine, even something like Apple Store, not selling iPhones there. Many of American businesses shutting their doors to Russia. Do you think those types of sanctions, whether small or large, will help the cause of the people of Ukraine?
I do believe it's because Russians, there's two people who are separated in Russia in two categories: people who support Ukrainians no matter what and then don't want war, and then other people who just like blindly follow Putin because they're brainwashed. So those people who just wanna support Putin, they need to feel discomfort. They need to feel that this doesn't benefit them. They cannot just do this violence with no consequences. So the more pressure economical we can do for Russia, the more people in Russia gonna raise against the regime, and maybe they can do something, because obviously we cannot do anything, but only Russians can condemn their president. I don't know, like maybe somebody from his circle gonna take him down. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but this has to happen because he's just causing so much pain to people all around the world. And I don't think he's gonna stop in Ukraine, because obviously Ukraine, it's not, for him, it's just a coin that he can play. Mm-hmm. He has his plan, which I don't know, but he is obviously against US. His move to Ukraine, against Ukraine, was only to show that Ukraine cannot align with US, which it did during several previous years. So it was like punishing Ukraine for seeking this alliance with US and other European countries. So obviously he's hating all the West.
Well, Yulia Koloskova, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored, and we wish you the best with your family, and hope they get out safe and get to. Have they been able to so far to leave Ukraine, or are they still there They're
there because they're really afraid to leave, because they don't live near border, so the road can be very dangerous.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you again and wish you and your family the best. We appreciate your time here on The Factor Uncensored tonight.
Thank you. Pray for you.